In part 14 and 15, we have already seen how to create a user API with basic functionalities like validation. Now let's see how to create a login user API with authorization and enhanced security. By the way, in our React app, we also need to add this captcha page. Once the user verifies the captcha, they will gain access to the admin dashboard page like this. We must keep in mind that while developing any project, the client or your boss will always check how secure your API is. Here we are proceeding there only. Now you must be thinking that using captcha, how can we secure the admin panel? But here is the trick. On clicking the login button, we will call the login user API. Through this API, we will generate JSON web token. The token acts as digital signature, allowing users to authenticate themselves without needing to send their credentials. Now after generating this token, we will go to this captcha page. And validity of generated token will be only for 10 minutes. That means user has to verify this captcha within 10 minutes, otherwise login session will get expire and user will be thrown to login page. But if the user verifies the captcha within 10 minutes and clicks on continue to dashboard, we will call the land to dashboard API. In this API, we will generate JWT token for one more time, which will have validity of 1 hour. And without passing this token in param, user cannot access admin dashboard page. Let's start creating login API along with JWT token. Here we have already imported bcrypt module. Next, we are importing JSON web token module. And this is SQLize operator from SQLize module. Now in this login user function, we are extracting identifier from the request body. And we are going to allow user to log in using email or username. Here we are using SQLize find one method to find the user whose username or email matches identifier. If the user does not exist, we will return a 400 bad request error. Here we are checking if the provided password matches the stored hashed password using bcrypt.compare function. By the way, here in create user API, I have made a small change. I have hashed the password using bcrypt.hash function before storing it. Let's come back to our login API. After checking, provided password matches the stored hashed password or not, we will call generate token function. To make the generate token function reusable, I have added it to a separate file named tokenservice.js inside the utils folder. Let's dive into it. Here, in this function, we are passing the user and token expiration time as parameters. And, in return of this function, we are calling jwt.sign function, which generates a signed JWT token. This function's first argument contains user data, which will be encoded in the token. It allows the server to verify the user's identity without querying the database. Second argument is the secret key, JWT secret, which is stored in environment variables for security. So the token cannot be forged unless someone has this secret key. And the third argument sets the token's validity period, which is passed from the user controller. Once the expiration time is reached, the token becomes invalid, and the user must log in again. Let's get back to our login API. Here, if authentication is successful, we will send the token and user data in the response, and the user will be redirected to the capture page. Let's start creating this land to dashboard API. Here I am creating land to dashboard asynchronous function. Now let's extract token and user ID from request body. If the token is missing, we will send an HTTP 401 unauthorized response. Upon receiving this response, we will display a page that says, "Something went wrong, please try again." After this we will verify JWT token using a secret key, and if the token is invalid, API will return an error. Next, we will compare the ID stored inside the JWT token with the user ID sent in the request. Next, by using findByPK function, we will query the database to find the user by primary key. If the user doesn't exist, it returns an HTTP 404 not found response. Now, if everything is valid, we will call the generate token function again and set the expiration time to 1 hour. This ensures that the user can access the dashboard for only 1 hour, after which the session will expire and they will be logged out. Previously, when we called the generate token function, we set the expiration time to 10 minutes. Because we were handling the login process and capture verification. Now that we are dealing with the dashboard session, we are increasing the expiration time and generating a new token. Next, we will send an HTTP 200 OK response. and will return user details. In the last, if an unexpected error occurs like a database failure, we will return HTTP 500 internal server error in response. Let's add routes for login user and land to dashboard API. I hope you are aware that we can assign any name to an API route, as I have assigned admin dashboard to the land to dashboard API. Before going further, let's not forget to install JSON Web Token. Here, we have completed our two important APIs. Let's test them first, then we will implement these APIs in our React app and review the capture page code. Here, I have tested the create user API one more time to store the password in a hashed way. You can see the response here. I have also added two more requests and already included their respective URL and parameters. Let's test the login user API for the user stored in the database. By the way, if you have any confusion regarding Postman, its functionalities, or the URL, refer to the part 15 video of this series. It provides a clear explanation of these points. Video link is also given in the description. Here, we can see that we are receiving the response as defined in the login API. Let's test land to dashboard API. While testing the land to dashboard API, we must pass the user ID in integer format, that means without quotes. On clicking the send option in this API, we are receiving the response as defined in the API, which includes the message, user details, and token.